Hi, it's Mitch from pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Hawks versus Bulls NBA matchup on Friday, April 9th, 2021. The Hawks come into this one as a 3-point favorite against the Bulls. The Bulls on a back-to-back here after knocking off the Toronto Raptors on Thursday. And we're still kind of waiting for the Bulls to hit full stride after all those trades that they made. That probably isn't going to happen this season. The Bulls sitting in 10th place in the Eastern Conference playoff standings, really just a game behind the Indiana Pacers with a shot to make at least that play-in game. And, really just 2 games behind the Knicks for the final playoff spot. So certainly, still a lot to play here for the Bulls. And, despite having that losing record where they're 21-28 on the season, doesn't matter once the playoffs start. It is a new season, and certainly this is a new-look Chicago Bulls team after the trade deadline. The Hawks have played up the defense. They're 5th in the playoff standings, tied for 4th, really, with the Hornets there. But all that ground between 5th and 4th and really 9th and 10th, just a handful of games separating those teams. So there is no comfortable place for any of them. The Hawks coming off of a pretty tough effort last time out, did not play well, and they are 5-5 in their last 10 coming into this one. The Hawks in that performance against the Grizzlies, it was a tight game most of the way, and then the Grizzlies just exploded on them, 131-113 in the game. The Hawks were 1.5-point dogs by the time the game went off. I just think that in this one, the Bulls, even though they're on a back-to-back, we've seen them now win 3 games in a row. And while they haven't played the toughest of tough, they still beat the Brooklyn Nets, who are the best record in the Eastern Conference. In there, it wasn't the full-strength Chicago Bulls, or Brooklyn Nets, but it was the Brooklyn Nets nonetheless. They beat the Indiana Pacers, another team that's a game ahead of them in the playoff standings, and then the Toronto Raptors, who are basically a dumpster fire this season with all of the injuries and the COVID stoppages. The Hawks' defense still playing well, but regressing in the standings. They had gotten it up to about the 10th ranked defense in the NBA, now back to about 15th. A lot of that I thought had to do with the road trip, but last game they were home and certainly didn't look like the same Hawks that we had seen in the recent games. The Hawks had won 4 in a row heading into that game against Memphis. I just think even though the Bulls are on the back-to-back in this one, I just like the way that they're starting to come together. It really is just a matter of, putting the pieces together because the talent is there on this roster to be a playoff team right now. They're 4-1 against the number on the road against a team with a winning home record and 4-0 against the number in their last 4 games overall. The Hawks 7-1 against the number in their last 8 home games and 7-1 against the number against a team with a losing record. But the Bulls have owned the Hawks, and they are 8-3 against the number in their last 11 games against the Hawks, 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games in Atlanta. I'm going to take my 3 points, just take my chances here. I'm going to take the Chicago Bulls, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, I'd love to know who you have in this game. If you could leave that in the comments of this video, that would be awesome. I'd love to see who you have, and while you're there, if you can hit the like button, greatly appreciated. Helps us a ton, costs you nothing, takes you half a second. Of course, if you're looking for who the top handicappers in the world have in this one, head on over to pickdawgz.com, click on the Premium Picks tab. You can see who the top handicappers have across the board in today's games.